Hi folks, I hope you're well. So, something that just came to my mind earlier that I thought was important to speak about was, okay, I believe it's right for me to walk away from the churches in this area, because I don't think there's any point me going back to any of them and trying to say anything that God is telling me to say, because they won't listen. Right? That's true. They won't listen. So therefore, I will let God deal with it, rather than me trying to do anything. No, there's no point. And if they ask me to come back, then the answer is no. Well, if they come to me and ask me to come back, the answer is no. The only way that will happen is if they do what they've never done. They have to go to the Father and they have to ask him what they need to do, and then listen and then do what he says. Right, then, okay, then the one that God sent can return. But anyone who's in a situation where God has sent someone to speak to you, to bring what he's saying now, any area that that's happening in, if you're rejecting this person, don't expect to ever get a second chance. Don't expect to ever have a second chance to hear what God is saying now. You've had a chance. You said no. You said, basically, F off. Right? You're not welcome. Now, as I say, to a certain degree, the person that I spoke to on Christmas Eve, I respect that person more than I respect anyone else that I've met in any of these churches. And the reason why is quite simple. Because he at least had the guts to actually, face me. He thought I was wrong and he wanted to face me. Okay. The way he did it was wrong, yeah. But okay. At least he didn't go behind my back and go to the blinking pastor and start whining, or go to anyone else and start blinking whining. He actually spoke to me. But again, the problem is, with him, he didn't come to me about anything I said. Even though he got offended by what I said, he never came to me about anything I said. He came to me saying, yes, but you're not perfect because you did that. Which is like, and? Even if that was blinking true, it's irrelevant. Even if, for example, if I had really bad neighbours that were trying to get me to hit them and they were pushing for years and years and years and years and years, and one day I snapped, and because the dogs are misbehaving, I overreacted with them. Okay, does that mean that God wouldn't choose me to bring a message? Does that mean that would cancel that out? That if God wanted to choose me, he would suddenly say, oh no, I can't choose him now because he made a mistake? It was an incredibly stupid thing for that bloke on Christmas Eve to do. An incredibly stupid thing. Showed an incredible lack of understanding of God. Well, especially the sort of people that God will choose. Just look at it, for goodness sake. I say, Paul was someone who was hunting Christians to stone them to death. God chose him. Right? Yes. Moses was a murderer. Yeah? Look at Samson. He was a man full of lust. For a woman, wasn't he? He was a biblical hero. Look at David. Look at David, the king. Yeah. He sent a woman's husband to the front line to get him killed so that he could have that woman. God doesn't choose perfect people. The world chooses perfect people. Stop thinking that God is of this world. He is not. The reality is the only way that you people are going to receive in the future anyone who has been offered and rejected is if you go to God and you ask God what you need to do and do that. If you are a people where the dust has been shaken off someone's feet because you rejected, then you can receive, but you need to do, as I said before, you need to do what you've never done before. You need to show that you're willing to listen. You need to show that you're willing to receive. And the way you do that is you go to Father, you ask him what does he want you to do, and then you have to do what? You have to listen. You have to receive and you have to obey God. Right? Those things are not easy to do. They're very difficult to do. To listen for God's voice and to hear, and then you've got to confirm, it all takes time. Right? If you are desperate to receive what God has given, time is not something that you want. You don't want to wait. But you're going to have to. And again, this is all part of it. You're going to have to wait because, yeah, you mucked up. Elgin in Scotland was one of the first places that has heard what God has been telling me. One of the first towns that has been actually brought to. Well, the first town. They were the first ones given a chance to hear. And they said no. I say, I mean, the weirdest is Oasis. Oasis Church basically rejected everything before I'd even gone anywhere near their church. They banned me before I'd gone anywhere near their church. Right? Okay. Then Oasis Church would be the last one ever considered. Well, no, that would have to be... Well, no, again, no. Oasis Church would be the last one considered. Although, actually, no, it wouldn't. No, there wouldn't be anyone that's last considered, because something that they'd also have to do is, if it's the River Church, if it's the Community Church of God, or if it's Oasis Church, the leaders of that church, or the people who were leaders at the time, are going to have to stand up in front and explain to the people in the church why they banned me from church and how what they did was wrong. They're going to have to destroy their own reputation in that church. Right? Because to so many pastors, what's the most important thing? Their own reputation. Right? The current pastor at the Community Church of God, he's there because his wife's grandfather or father set up that church. Right? Therefore, it's in the family. He's not going to want to destroy his own reputation, is he? But he's going to blink him or have to now. Yeah. Well, because if you've made it about you all that time, then, yeah, you're going to have to come out and speak truth about all of that. And if you want to receive truth, you're going to have to first of all speak truth about why it wasn't received before. Including the people that rejected, I'm going to have to say why they rejected. Anyone who's alive still is going to have to come up and say why they rejected. Yeah. truth. If truth's going to come in, the truth has to come out first. Yeah. It's not about punishing people, but what it is about is saying, yeah, you were, well, potentially Elgin Town in Scotland, IV30, that place in Scotland, could have been the most blessed of towns. But the churches in those towns decided no. They didn't want truth. They didn't want God turning up in their church and doing anything at all. Okay. That can change, and the way to change it has been mentioned. So I wish you well. Enjoy. Be a blessing, be blessed, and have a fantastic weekend ahead. Yes, you take care. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.